My name is Stacy. I am a Reiki master teacher, and it's been requested that I jump on and do a intro to Reiki video. I've done a couple workshops online, and not everyone could attend at the times that I had scheduled those workshops, so they have requested this video. So I am making it today, hoping that those who are in need will find this helpful. So Reiki, this is an introduction to Reiki workshop, what Reiki is and what Reiki isn't, how it can help, where it's used, and kind of a rundown of what it looks like, and how you can become a practitioner as well. So let's get started. I started my Reiki journey probably, let's see, my daughter is now 12, so I want to say it was about 12 years ago. I was pregnant with my daughter and having a lot of complications, a lot of forced labors. And my sister-in-law at the time, she was a Reiki master, and she came over one evening and gave me Reiki to help move along the delivery. And the next day I had my daughter, and she came out very quickly and ready to meet the world. And I really feel like the Reiki had helped me release some energy blockages to be able to birth her. I did not teach or go on my journey yet to become attuned myself at that point, but I definitely continued to receive Reiki. I sought out a couple Reiki masters in the area, and I would get regular Reiki sessions. Right around the time that COVID hit and we all went into shutdown, I felt called to know more, to learn more about Reiki, and to kind of get my level 1 attunement. So after things had opened back up, I went and received my level 1 attunement for my own personal reasons. I felt that, I came from a lot of trauma in my background, and COVID really affected and opened up some of those wounds that I had been using distractions and not thinking about. So COVID had opened that up, and therapy wasn't really helping. I felt like there was more, so I went and got my attunement, my level 1 attunement, and it changed my life. It literally changed my life. It was a surreal experience, and awakened something inside of me, and it brought me back home to myself. And I just decided to continue on, and eventually felt called to become a master teacher so I could help others go through and guide them through what I went through. And it's just an amazing experience. I'm also in my day job a social worker, and I do family therapy, individual therapy, and Reiki really helps along with that as well. It kind of, not that I do give individual Reiki sessions to my clients now. That is my goal in the future, to have my own practice to be able to do so, but it really helps me to help them. So that's kind of how I got started into Reiki. It was a guided path. It was a path that was meant for me. So we'll see if it's meant for you. So that was a little bit about me. I'm also an intuitive reader. Reiki has really helped awaken that part of myself. I always knew I could read things. I just felt things. I knew things, and Reiki helped me kind of become more calm on the inside to really be able to hear messages coming through. So what is Reiki? Reiki is an energy healing treatment from Japan. It works on the body, the whole body, mind and spirit. It really helps relieve stress and pain. It induces relaxation. It releases this emotional blockages. that are within our bodies that kind of accelerate that natural healing. What Reiki is not, and this is very clear because Reiki has come, I've met people that are like, oh, that's Satanism, or that's the occult, or that is something that is sacrilegious, and it is something that is witchcraft. So many different things. I actually was once called, someone walked past me and said, oh, look, there's the devil's work over there. Reiki is far, far from that. Reiki is pure love and pure compassion for another person. So no, it's not devil's work. But to each their own if they believe that. I mean, but I'm here to tell you what it is not. It is not a massage. You are on a massage table most of the time, but Reiki can be given anywhere at any point in time, anywhere you're at. But you are not massaging a person. You are not giving deep tissue touch. You are doing very light touch on a person, sometimes no touch at all on the outer sheaths of the body. It is not a religion. It is not associated with any type of religion. It's not psychic healing. Definitely not a cult. Not any sort of religious dogma where you practice, based on your religion. It's not hypnosis or mind control, although you do get into a deep state of meditation, almost like a meditative state when you are receiving Reiki. Some people do. So the word Rei means universal life, and the word Ki means energy. When put together, Reiki means universal life force energy. It is within all of us. This has been given many different names. Ki can also be called Chi, can be called pranayama. It's just that spirit, that energy within us, our personal energy, the universal energy that exists within all of us. And it's called many different things by many different philosophies and religions. So let's go over the history of Reiki. Reiki was rediscovered by Dr. Mikao Usui. He was a Japanese Buddhist monk. He rediscovered Reiki during a meditation. He has always had an interest in healing and medicine, and he, like I said, he was a doctor, and he just felt like there was more he could offer, there was more that he could do. So he kind of sought out that this energy healing should be accessible to everyone, and that we all have it within us, and that regardless of your belief system or your background, and that you don't have to take any of your own energy to give Reiki. Was kind of what he wanted how he wanted the craft to be looked at. Excuse me. So in the 1920s, after not feeling 100% fulfilled, I guess you could say, or not being able to help the people he wanted to help in his practice, he wanted to heal people, and he really was into a lot of those energy modalities, but a lot of those energy modalities would take energy from the practitioner and give to the other person. And he was trying to find something that would restore balance within a person, but not take from the person that was giving it. It's kind of like if you're an empath, you want to help people, but then you're taking on that energy. And yes, that can still happen in Reiki, especially if you are an empath. But Reiki itself does not take any of that on. You do not take that on at all. So in the 1920s, he went up on the mountain on this deep meditation and he just to pray and to meditate and trying to figure out what his calling was, what he needed to do. And he was there for 21 days. On the 21st day, he had this mystical experience. And according to legend, on the last day in the cave, as he prayed and he asked for to be shown light, suddenly this bright white light appeared to him in the sky and came rapidly towards him, hitting him on his forehead at his third eye chakra. He was kind of knocked unconscious or put in like an altered state, and he saw a vision of all the Reiki symbols that he had found in the sutras. And that is kind of how Reiki came back to him. He came down from that mountain, and he stubbed his toe on the way down from the mountain, it is said, and cut his toe. So, instinctively, when we hurt ourselves, we put our hands on it. Like you hit your elbow, you put your hand on it. He came down from the mountain, put his hand on the toe after he stubbed it, and the bleeding stopped, and so did the pain. The wound didn't heal, but the pain and the bleeding stopped. And he's like, wow, he finally found something that would help. And over the years of working with others and working with and healing a lot of people and helping a lot of people, he kind of came up with this plan, I guess you could call it. Like he came up with a Reiki as we know today. And the system of healing that we know today. So we have him to thank, kind of for starting that. One of the things I want to mention here really quickly is that this is just one story. This is just one story that has been told about Reiki. Dr. Usui didn't keep written records, and nobody else after him really kept written records until, I want to say, the 1950s or 60s. Reiki was a sacred practice, and the masters kept the knowledge through word of mouth. So we don't have a lot of written records. You have a lot of stories that have been passed down. So this is where, and you know how stories are being passed down, how they go. So this is where we kind of get our information, and we're getting more and more information. So it is becoming more, a consensus is forming about how it really came about. But you might hear a different story than the one I'm telling right now about his experience up on the mountain. So after he came down from the mountain and created these centers, he created these healing centers. He founded a school, and he started to teach and train others Reiki healing. So he ended up teaching Dr. Hayashi, and I forgot the I on the slide, sorry. He trained under him, and he helped him create these clinics, Reiki clinics over in the East, and just continued on to that path and training more Reiki masters. So then the person we have to thank for it coming in over to the West is Mrs. Takata. Mrs. Takata was facing some major health issues herself, and doctors were saying surgery, 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 surgery. She felt that there was more that could be done, and she went over to Japan to these, she had heard about this Reiki, and she went over to Japan to get healed or to see if they could help, and went to the clinics, and I think she went like every day, and eventually she didn't have to have surgery, and it helped her with these health problems that she was having. She convinced them to attune her, and she brought this over here, and I think she's the one we really have to thank for everything that we know today, because she's the one that brought it to us. She trained 22 masters herself, and then those masters went on to train others, and so on. So that's that lineage that you're going to hear about later when we talk about Reiki and being attuned. You are directly attuned from Dr. Usui's lineage when you are attuned under Usui Reiki. So that's a little bit about the history, and like I said, it's going to be different depending on where you read your history from. So that is just the one I like to, that is how I was taught So Reiki, I love this quote from Dr. Yusui. It's Reiki is love, Reiki, love is wholeness, wholeness is balance, and balance is well-being. Well-being is freedom, freedom of disease. So it's kind of like how Reiki is. We give love. Love and compassion is the source of Reiki. And when we come and put our hands on someone and work on these energy centers, we are sending this pure loving compassion, this pure loving light to these areas of their body to help with the healing. That's why I love that quote. Okay. So along with Reiki, although it's not dogma, there are some principles that we as Reiki practitioners, we really strive to live our lives by this. We strive every day to keep into that Reiki is love mentality. We have to love ourselves. So, and we have to be whole ourselves. So these principles really help us do that. So if you look at the first one, I release angry thoughts and feelings. We don't want to live our lives with this anger all the time. Yes, we're going to feel anger, but we need to release them. Same with I release thoughts of worry. We need to release worry. We need to release that anxiety when we're feeling it. We don't need it because it's going to direct our feelings. It's going to direct our actions. Our feelings direct our actions. And then be grateful for the blessings in your life. There are days that I struggle to find blessings. There'll be days that I struggle to be grateful. That is normal. We're all like that. So there are days that I have to come up with a very creative gratitude practice and start being thankful for the water coming out of my spigot, or the food in my fridge, or for a week in a row I might be thankful for my children, because I can't think of anything else. But focusing on those things that make us grateful keeps our attitude positive. And then the next one is I do my work honestly. That's more of like an integrity thing. You do the work and also like you're doing the work that you were meant to do. And last, I'm kind to all living beings, including myself. Being kind to self. That is like one of the most important. Be kind to yourself. Okay, so have you ever walked into a room and you feel the energy in the room? Or like the energy from a person? Seriously, like we've all been there, right? We've gone into a store and you can feel the energy. We've gone into work that morning and we just kind of know something's off. That's Reiki energy. That is what energy is. So let's play around a little bit with this Reiki energy. And I want you to take your hands and I want you to put them really close. Let's rub them together. Rub them together. And then put them really close to each other. And feel the energy. Imagine like this little white ball. You may close your eyes if you wish. Imagine this little white ball in your hands and feeling the energy from it. You can feel that energy. Now start expanding it and making it bigger. And just start kind of ping-ponging it or accordion-like, back and forth, back and forth. You should start to feel the pulsating energy between your hands. You might not everybody does, so if you don't feel it right now, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Some people don't ever feel Reiki energy, they just know that it's there. But those of you that do, you're going to feel like a pulling, almost like you're pulling, like there's a string on all of your fingers, and you're pulling back. Just close your eyes. Just imagine pulling it back and then trying to close your hands. Does it seem to resist a little bit, like it doesn't want to close? Get real close and accordion just a little bit, little vibrations of the hands, and feel how it almost doesn't want to close. Like when you put the same sides of a magnet together, how they don't want to connect, it kind of feels like that, doesn't it? Just keep playing around. You can keep making a ball. You can do this on your own. You can just make a ball Feel free to pause the video right now and just take some deep breaths and play with your energy ball that you're making. You know, you can throw it up in the air, bring it back down. You can catch it over here. That's energy. Energy is within all of us. I have this cool little energy stick right here, and it kind of shows it. I'm touching this end, nothing's happened. I'm going to touch the other end. That's energy. The energy is going between my hands. That's what you were just feeling, is that energy. Now, I'm here by myself, but if we had someone else in the room or we were doing this live, I would have you hold one end, and I would hold the other, and then we would touch hands. And if that and when we touched our hands, this would light up. It's not going to light up if you hold this end right now. We have to connect the circuit. So we would touch our hands and connect that circuit, and that would be energy. And that's the science behind Reiki, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So, according to modern science, everything's made up of energy. Even like the atoms. The atom is energy. If you look at the picture of the atom right there, the atom is balls of energy spinning really fast to form a solid. They're spinning so fast they look solid, but they're not. It's all energy. So quantum physics suggests that the idea of solid matter actually doesn't exist, and that's what I was just talking about. Solid matter does not exist. I'm banging on this table, but it is not solid. What? You're telling me you're crazy. This lady's crazy. I'm turning this video off, right? That's what you're saying. That table's solid. Go ahead, touch your table. Or you're holding your phone right now. Your phone feels very solid, doesn't it? It's not. Like I said, those little atoms are so tiny and they're spinning so fast that we're perceiving this as solid. It's really not. They're just little atoms spinning so fast. And that is quantum physics. That is something to look into. I'm not going to go into a quantum physics lesson right now, but it is something to look into, especially when it has to do with Reiki. So everything is energy. Everything vibrates, everything is connected, and intention matters. The body wants to be in a natural state of balance. The body wants to be balanced. The body wants to make order out of chaos, which is why we see this as a solid. The brain is designed to do this. And that intention matters right there. Directing your energy, your intention. You know, it matters when you direct it. That how you direct it, where you put your intention, pay attention to what you're paying attention to. That is where your energy is going to go. So energy in the body. We're all made up of all this energy. We have all this energy, and energy tends to get stuck. Excuse me. I've been talking a lot today. I'm starting to lose my voice. So energy gets stuck. Our modern world, the world we live in, causes like your energy to just get stuck in certain areas. You know, we work at desks, you know, so we're here at a desk and our shoulders are up here. You know, we're like this. Energy is getting stuck there when we do that. When you work out, do a leg workout, right? I just did a leg workout today. After I'm done that workout, I feel the energy in my legs, right? You know, although that's a good way to get energy stuck. Like, we're not really stuck. It's actually releasing energy. You're releasing that energy out of your muscles when you exercise. Reiki can help kind of release those blocks. So some of the things that can kind of block us are working at this computer, staring at this computer, staring at this phone, our diet, our food, what we put into our bodies. The artificial lights, not spending enough time outdoors, just the way our modern world is designed. I'm not knocking anybody for doing that stuff because we all do it. We all have, it's just the way the world is designed. We don't own, some of us might, but I don't own a homestead on a piece of land that's self-sufficient, where I can be outside and I can live the way my body's intended to live. That's just not feasible in today's world. So energies get stuck in certain areas. And Reiki improves the flow, improving the flow of energy, kind of getting those things out of stuck areas can help relax you, can take away your pain, can speed up healing and reduce the symptoms of illnesses. We all know that stress is so key to our health. We have these very high stress levels, and stress kills. We know that. That's the number one killer. Reducing it. How many times have you been to the doctor and the doctor says, you need to reduce your stress. You need to reduce your stress. You need to reduce your stress. Stress creates cortisol in the body, and then that creates like this adrenaline response, and then we live in this constant fight or flight mode, and we're just going and going and going, and we never have time to be in that parasympathetic mode where healing occurs. Even in our sleep, when we're stressed, we end up having stressful dreams, so we're still producing that cortisol, and we're still producing that stress hormone, so it's still making our body work while we're sleeping. So most of us don't get a restful night's sleep. This is what Reiki can do for us. Reiki can release all this, reduce that stress, so you can do what your body is supposed to do. It can heal itself. I honestly believe in that. Speaking of energy centers, some of you might have heard of the chakras. This is not Reiki. Reiki was not designed around the chakras. I want to put this disclaimer out there. Like, traditional Reiki does not incorporate the chakras as we know them. It incorporates energy centers, which are very similar to the chakras. So I use the chakras to help you and help myself kind of see where these energy blockages can be. You have your root chakra. Down here, I am. That is who you are, the base of who you are. And then you have your solar plexus chakra. I feel. This is your emotional center, who you are as a person, your playfulness, your passion, your sexuality. And then you have your solar plexus. It is right here in your stomach, in your center. This is your I do, I am, I can, I will. This is your power, your personal power, who you are to the world and how you get things done. Lots of solar masculine energy there. And then next you have your heart. This is your center. Your heart center. This is your center. If you look at the 3 above and 3 below, this is your center. Your heart. This is where you love. This is your compassion for others. This is your relationships with self, how you feel about yourself. Then you have your throat chakra, which mine is needs some work on today because I've talk so much today. My throat chakra is not liking me. So you have your throat chakra. That is where you speak, how you speak to the world or how you don't speak to the world. Then your third eye, that is your intuitive center. That is the I see. Literally I see, and figuratively, like you can see your intuitiveness. It goes directly into your pineal gland. And then you have your crown. Your crown is your knowledge. I know. Your knowledge, your spiritual connection, your connection to source, your connection to your God, whatever you want to call it, above. That is your ultimate knowledge. So that is the chakras that you know of, that we know of, that we practice here in the West. There are hundreds more chakras throughout the body. It is a Hinduism construct, and it really kind of flows very well with Reiki energy, with the Reiki concept. And I'm speaking of these concepts like they're separate, and to me, it really is all one. It's just been named very differently. As I said earlier, that Dr. Yusui had rediscovered Reiki. Reiki has always been here. It's not like he discovered it, he made it up, he figured it out, whatever. No, Reiki has always been here. That universal life force energy has always been here. We always have had it. It's within every religion, philosophy that you can think of. There is some sort of universal energy that we draw from. And that's kind of what Reiki is, and that's kind of why I like to use the chakras. A lot of Reiki practitioners are now using the chakras because it really is all the same part of these energy centers of the body when we're working on a person. So, next. Maybe. All right, so what to expect during a session. If you've never had a Reiki session before, I'm kind of going to go over with you what it would look like, what your Reiki session would look like. So to start the session, the practitioner will meet with the client and kind of discuss any problems or concerns the client has. I'll sit down with someone and I'll be like, you know, what brought you in? If it's their first time, like, what brought you in here today? Why do you feel you need Reiki? And kind of explain what Reiki is to them. And some people might say, you know, I'm really been having a lot of shoulder pain or back pain, some kind of physical ailment. Some people might say, oh, I've had a lot of, you know, a difficult breakup, or, you know, I'm grieving the loss of someone, and they're having an emotional kind of emotional issues that have been going on. And some people come in because they have a spiritual disattachment. They don't feel like connected to their God or their spirit. So that's how Reiki can work in all three levels. So I kind of take some time in the beginning to figure out what's going on. You know, what do you need? You know, and kind of figure out where I want to focus. Although I could say, you know what, this person needs some heart chakra work, and the energy could have a different idea. That I'm a conduit of the energy. I don't direct the energy. The energy goes through me into the other person from source, and it knows where to go. So it really doesn't matter if I'm connected to one thing. It kind of knows where to go. So the client lies down, faced up, typically lies down, face up on a massage table on a comfortable surface, and they're fully closed. I just ask, uncross your legs, uncross your arms, shoes off, any type of jewelry that might get in the way, or glasses, hats, you know, that stuff should come off, just to kind of help, you know, with the placement of the hand placement. And, you know, typically they're lying down, but they can lie on their bellies. Sometimes I might have a client turn over on the belly because I really feel like the energy need to come from the back, but energy goes all the way through the body, so you really don't need to flip on the back. Flip on the belly. There goes my first yawn of the night. I know I've been talking too much, not getting enough oxygen. So the client lies down, and like I said, if you want to flip them over, that's fine. It's perfectly okay with that. Some people are more comfortable on their bellies. That is fine. You just would adjust the hand placements at that point. And then the practitioner's hands are placed lightly on or just above or around the client's bodies. The palms are down and they're over those certain energy centers. Like when you are attuned to Reiki level 1, you learn all of these placements on the body and what they mean and what they correspond with. That's a whole nother class, a whole nother workshop. I'm not going to go into it today, but like for instance, your knees kind of speak about your flexibility, whether you're flexible, your knees and your elbows, because that's your flexible part of your body. If you're having problems there might be some flexibility issues in your life. The right side is very masculine. That's your giving, or your taking, your giving side. And your left side is very, is your feminine side. So it's kind of, I kind of guided by those type of things when I'm putting my hand placements. And the placements can be on, or like the picture on here, if you look at me, right above, or right outside of the person in the aura of that person. It can be within that person's aura. Some people don't like to be touched, so I can do a whole Reiki session without having any type of touching whatsoever. A full session typically lasts about 50 minutes, but shorter sessions can be done. Sometimes I do mini sessions for people who've never had Reiki before. Sometimes people ask for a half an hour session. Reiki can be done to anyone, anytime, anywhere. It can be done in the woods. It can be done at your dinner table. It can be done sitting on the couch. It can be done anywhere. That is kind of the big thing, is like, it doesn't have to be sitting on the Reiki table and blah, 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 having all of that. No, it doesn't have to be that. So what you might feel during there, a client might feel tingling, they might feel the warmth or pulsating or heat. I don't know if I can move my picture. I can't. It's covering up my slides. It says heat or hands when not there. So sometimes you might feel like if I'm on a person's face, they might feel a hand on their thigh. That is just the energy moving. That might just be the energy moving throughout. I've done that. I've had that experience myself when I've been on the Reiki table, is feeling like she started touching me. Oh, excuse me. I'm not breathing. I need to breathe. Someone might be touching, or my Reiki practitioner might be touching my shoulder here, or I feel like she's touching my shoulder here, and then all of a sudden I feel hands on my feet. I'm like, wait, she's up here. Why is she down there now? And it's very weird. It can be a very weird experience, but it's very calming. It's not scary. It's a very calming experience. So uses and benefits. Reiki is very gentle. It's not a massage. It's very light touch, or it can be no touch. It's deeply relaxing. It activates your parasympathetic mode, like I was talking about earlier. Like parasympathetic mode is when we get into that state where our body starts healing. It's a very relaxed state. It reduces stress, can stimulate the immune system, relieve pain and tension. It's used in many treatment centers for cancer. There's a lot of research now how Reiki is complementary. Reiki is used all over the world, and in hospitals and hospices, and I even heard that the VA is now looking for Reiki practitioners to work with veterans. It's a great complement to other health treatments that you might be going through. I'm not going to be the practitioner that tells you Reiki is going to heal you, and all you need is Reiki to heal you, and everything will be fine, and Reiki will be your miracle. That is not who I am. That is not what I'm going to say. Can Reiki be a miracle? Absolutely. Absolutely, it can be. I'm not going to promote that, though, because I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. I've seen some amazing things happen. I've heard stories of amazing things happening, but that's not what Reiki is. Reiki is very complementary to your other treatments. Don't stop your other treatments thinking Reiki is going to fix you all. It is going to complement what you're already doing. It's a great thing to add to your treatments. It, like I said, really promotes that inner healing from a subatomic level, that energy from within. I think there's like 3 cancer treatment centers near me that are now bringing Reiki practitioners in, and I know hospices are using them a lot. So it's great to utilize if you have some health issues. It's great to utilize when you don't have health issues as well. So energy knows where to go, like I said earlier, and it goes where it needs, and it's not coming from me. I don't direct that energy. It comes through me, through my hands. I've been attuned to the symbols of Reiki, and in the level, in your attunement classes, you'll learn about these symbols and what the symbols are. I like to keep it sacred. I'm not going to put them on here. I don't feel that, you can go Google them if you'd like. I suggest that you not. I would urge that you didn't if you plan to become a Reiki master or even just become level 2 attunement. I would suggest and recommend to keep that sacred until that time. I did myself. I went through my level 1. You don't learn some symbols in level 1, although the symbol isn't attuned into your hand. You don't learn them. And I feel that helped me not hyper focus on the next step. I didn't go Google them, and then when it was time to learn my symbols, it was very sacred to me. It was the first time seeing them, and it became very sacred, and I enjoyed that. So that is my recommendation. But if you want to know what they are, you can Google them. So if you want to become a practitioner, you have a level 1, which I was just talking about. That's your kind of personal level. It's where Reiki's personal within yourself. I feel that that was my biggest aha moment, was in my level 1. Not everybody feels that way though. I've had some people be like, I didn't feel anything at all. And it happens more slowly. I had a very large experience in my first level 1 class. So I was like, really feel like it was a big thing. And then level 2, you want to wait 21 days, just kind of about the same time that he was up on that mountain. You want to do level 1. You want to wait 21 days between level 1 and level 2. You want to feel that energy within. You want to give self Reiki at that time and wait 21 days before you give it to anybody else. You just filling yourself up. You're filling yourself up with this beautiful energy and beautiful light. And then when you get to level 2, then you can start practicing on others. I mean, you can practice on others on level 1, depending on the class that you take. Some masters will suggest that you don't, and they want you to wait till level 2. You're not going to practice to the point where you are, charging anybody, but you can practice on level 1 on your family, on your friends, just to get some practice. You're going to do Reiki shares and stuff like that. And then level 2 is when you learn your symbols. And you also learn your distance Reiki symbol at that point. Reiki energy can be sent across time and space. Energy knows no time limits. Energy does not know time and space. Energy can go anywhere. And you can send it, and then there, through that, like virtually through the phone, or you hear someone that's going through something, you can send them Reiki. And you'll learn those symbols in level 2. And then you have your master and then master teacher. Some master teachers will combine these two. Some master teachers will have master and teacher all in one weekend. They'll split it up into 2. I just feel like it's so much information. This is how I was taught. I was first becoming a master, and then I worked on becoming my teacher. And I really liked it that way. And I feel like it incorporates more, and it kind of gives you more time to really learn and separate the differences between becoming a master and becoming a teacher. So, if you have any questions, feel free to leave in the comments below. I have my link tree down there. You may look in there and find my messenger, and you can message me if you have any questions at all about this. But I suggest just leave them in the comments below, and I will answer them. I appreciate you watching this. Thank you so much. There's my link tree right there. I don't know how to actually make it a link, but I'm going to try to figure that out. I'm still new to this YouTube stuff. And then if you liked my recording and you feel that you would like to offer a love donation, a tip, these are my links over here. And I would greatly appreciate that as well. Although it's not required. It is just another form of way to share energy. Money is a way to exchange energy. It's an energy exchange. It really is, if you think about it. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please reach out if you have any questions. Reach out if you're interested in becoming Reiki Level 1. I have a course coming up here soon. I'm trying to get enough people in together before I put a date out. I'd like to have at least 6 in the class, even numbers if possible, so we can work on each other. I'm doing a virtual class, but I'm also doing in person, whatever you prefer. I'm, in the state of Pennsylvania, so I don't expect you to travel from California to come do my Reiki course when there's probably someone, down the street from you. But I can help you find that person if you need help finding a Reiki practitioner or a Reiki master near you. I have a lot of resources I can reach out and find some. So thanks again. Enjoy your day. And remember, always be grateful. Always stay kind. And release any thoughts of worry and anger. Be kind to yourself. Namaste, my lovies.